respected young children, my elders, my friends, my mothers and sisters, we are in an era in which our iman, our faith, our religion is in a great danger. We are surrounded by so many mischief. We are surrounded by no one turbulence, but many turbulence. There are so many fitness are taking place. My young brothers, it is a duty of every believing man and woman to keep an eye over his iman and her iman. You know, as we have an eye on our bank balance, we keep an eye on our properties so that they're not seized by anybody, they're not overtaken by anyone. Similarly, we need to take care of our iman, and we need to make sure that our children grow up in a state that they keep an eye on their iman so that they don't lose the iman. This iman can be lost very easily. It can be taken away from us very easily, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put us in a great test, and all these things are taking place around us. There are so many deviating people who are inviting us toward Jahannam, and vulnerable Muslims very easily become their prey and they fall into their traps. My young brothers, from Adam alayhi salatu wasalam till our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam has informed us, every Nabi, every Rasul, he warned his nation against one trial. And that is the trial in the form of impostor Dajjal. I have mentioned in my previous talk, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam will return to this dunya. His arrival to the dunya is one of the major signs of Qiyamah. But we need to know, why is it that Allah Almighty has kept Isa alayhi salatu wasalam alive for centuries and centuries, and he is in the heavens alive, and he will return to the dunya? But the question is, why? The answer to this question is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in order to rescue this ummah, the followers of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the trials, and particularly from the great trial, from the great mischief, which will be in the form of Dajjal impostor, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam will return to the dunya. And before he comes to the dunya, before he descends to the dunya, Dajjal, the impostor, already will be on the earth, and he will be roaming and he will be going everywhere, corrupting people's iman. And he will be buying the iman of people. He will be going, and people will be start following him. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says the women, they will be in majority who will be following the Dajjal. And do you know, preparation has been made in order to prepare people mentally for this man, for Dajjal, so that he can be accepted by people straight away. A show has been made, and people will see it. It will be in episodes, and it's called Miss Eye. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us about Dajjal, what he will be doing, all the unusual things he will be doing. This film has been made, and it will be in episodes, and people will be buying it, and they will have to pay for the channel, and they will be watching it. And what will happen, the reason why they made this, is to prepare us mentally for this man. Make us ready that, this man is a good man. He should be accepted. He should be given chance. He is worthy of being followed. My young brothers, our iman, our generations are to come, their iman is in danger. Our Prophet ﷺ in a hadith, what he said? He said, if one of you hears about impossible Dajjal that he has come, then he should flee from him, he should run away from him. He said, a believing man who will have full, who will have full confidence over his iman, when he will hear about Dajjal, he will go and see. And what will happen? After seeing and witnessing all the unusual things which will be happening from his hands, he will start to follow him. He will believe in him. This is what's happening now. Our generation, they are mentally being prepared when Dajjal comes, so that they straightaway, instantly accept him. Our Prophet ﷺ, he warned us. He said, let me tell you one thing. Although each and every Nabi and Prophet warned his nation against Dajjal, but there is one thing that I'm going to inform you of. No other Nabi and no other Rasul and Messenger had informed his followers, his Ummah. And that is, let me tell you, he said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, let me tell you about Dajjal. When he appears, in order to know that he is not God, because he's going to make so many claims. He will claim he is a prophet. First he will claim that he is a prophet. Then he will claim that he is Allah, he is Lord. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, every Nabi informed his nation about Dajjal, but there is one thing they've left out, which I'm going to inform you, and that is, he will be one-eyed. And remember, his claim will be, I'm your Lord. And remember, your Lord is not one-eyed. He will be one-eyed. My young brothers, how can we save ourselves from this man? Our Prophet ﷺ has given us one solution, and that is, he said, recite Surah Kahf every Friday. He said, he who recites Surah Kahf, which is in the 15th para, every Friday, he who recites Surah Kahf every Friday, from this Friday to next Friday, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will safeguard him from every fitna. He will not fall into any fitna. And if Dajjal appears in his lifetime, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, due to the barakah of the recitation of Surah Kahf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will rescue him. Allah will save him from the Dajjal. So therefore, my elders, we should ourselves recite the Quran. We should make sure that we carry and we inform, we convey this message to our children. Because you know which era this is, the era in which we are. There's a hadith of Prophet ﷺ, he said, Badiru bil amali as-salihah. He said, hasten to do the good deeds before you are overtaken by some fitness. There are. He said, a time will come in the morning, a man will be a believer. In the morning, he will be a believer. But in the evening, he will turn to disbelief. He will be a disbeliever. He will be a disbeliever. And then he said, in the evening, he will be a believer. In the morning, he will be a disbeliever. يَبِيعُ دِينَهُ بِأَرَضٍ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. He will sell his iman for worldly goods. He will sell his iman for worldly goods. And if we look around our Muslim, then we will say to ourselves, what are they doing? Are they selling the iman? Just about 2 weeks ago, somebody was telling me, Maulana Sahab, I know as a fact in Leeds, there are some grocery shops who are selling haram chickens. And he said, one of you was caught. My young brothers, why? For worldly goods. A believer will not hesitate to compromise with his iman and faith in order to acquire dunya. He will not bother about his iman. As far as the money is coming in, nobody is bothered. Just 2 weeks ago, this young man was telling me he used to work in a prison. And he said, I met one prisoner, young man. And I asked him, why did he come to jail? He said, my father was saying to me, your older brother is making more money than you. You're not making much money. So he said, then I started selling drugs. I made money. And then I was caught. Here I'm in jail. And for 6 months, my father hasn't come to visit me. Because why? Because he knows it's because of me. I asked him to get money. Today, parents, they're very happy. My son is bringing money in. They don't even ask where the money is coming. All our parents nowadays, the main concern is money. They want the money to come in. Nothing else. Whether their son is breaking into someone's shop, whether he's selling drugs or something else, all their concern is money and money. Our Prophet ﷺ said, a time will come, a believer will sell his iman in order to acquire dunya. For his dunya, for his money, he will not bother about his iman. He will sell his iman. So therefore he said, in the morning, one will be a believer, in the evening he will be kafir. Or in the evening he will be a believer, in the morning he will be kafir. And the Dajjal will come. Very easily people will sell their iman. They will follow him. They will straight away follow him. So this show which has been prepared, it has been prepared so that our coming generation are prepared to accept the Dajjal imposter. They haven't given the name this show as an imposter. They gave the name Messiah, the promised one. Even, the Jews, they're waiting for him. They're waiting for him. And he will be from Jews. He will be a Jewish man. And our Prophet ﷺ strictly he warned us. He said, he will corrupt the iman of millions of people. Millions of people will go and will follow him, and they will go into Jahannam. They will go into Jahannam. So my young brothers and my elders, iman is something that we need to take care of. Iman is something that we need to keep an eye on. Because if the iman goes, then you have nothing. If someone has iman and he doesn't have anything, he has everything. If someone has everything and he doesn't have iman, he has nothing. So therefore, my young brothers, we need to keep an eye on our iman and our children's iman, so that our children, when they grow up as believers. When they get married, they have children, so then they can pass on this message to the children. So my young brothers, the message is, the era in which we are living is an era in which our iman is in danger, or the iman of our children, the coming generation is in danger. And how we can come out of this danger, our Prophet has given a solution. He said, Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, on one occasion, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the fitna will appear. He said, O Prophet of Allah, how can we come out of this fitna? He said, there is only one solution, that is Kitabullah. Stick yourself, attach yourself with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the Quran, through the recitation of the Quran, He will safeguard you from every fitna. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my young brothers, give us a tawfiq to understand what has been said. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect my iman, your iman, and the iman of our coming generation. Now I will ask you to stand up for this one.